Let's talk now to Dr. Bolanle Balogun, who is a public health physician, and she joins us via Skype from Lekki in Lagos. Thank you for your time and welcome to the program, Dr. Balogun.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Our situation in the country is that we are now at a canter. The numbers are going up fairly rapidly, even though other countries are seeing even sharper rises. Today, we're now at 33,000 plus. The fatalities are also increasing, but also the recoveries are also going up. But the testing numbers are still low, less than 200,000. What do you make of these statistics?
Yes, so we've known that testing is a challenge, and that the more we test, the more cases we'll actually see. So we can say that the numbers we are seeing are clearly an underestimate. And once we are able to commit more resources into testing, we're going to actually see a clearer picture of what is on ground. So sometimes when we say, oh, there are fewer numbers of people, not fewer number of cases per day, it might be a factor of testing. Maybe there were challenges with testing the previous day. So what we're seeing is clearly not a true reflection of what is on ground.
One of the other things that is on ground is the fact that there are far more testing centers, there are far more facilities now available for those who are going to do testing or who want to do testing, both in the public sector and in the private sector. But it doesn't seem as if our people are turning out. I don't want to go into even the issue of non-compliance with the non-pharmaceutical interventions yet. But I mean, if we stick to the issue of testing, why are people not showing up for testing, do you think, apart from stigmatization?
Well, don't forget that most of the cases are asymptomatic or even mild. So people that are asymptomatic will have no need for testing. People that have mild symptoms might not see the need for testing. Then, of course, we know that there's the general, people not believing that COVID exists. A lot of people. So when you have that, you don't find the average man being convinced to get tested. Then also the cost for getting it done privately would be something that would deter a lot of people. And we know that even with the free testing that is being offered by the government, we know that there are challenges with that. It's not always immediate. So you might have to wait some days to get access to that testing, and then also wait some more days to get results. So those are some of the challenges that we're seeing regarding people offering themselves up for testing.
Regarding the, because one of the things that people have recurrently raised is the issue of manufacturing. Now that the economy is reopening itself little by little, there are fears that in some of the manufacturing, particularly the organized manufacturing sector, those with factories and so on, the issue of infection rates and the possibility of not being able to comply with protocols is very high. What would you ask that people in that position should do where we are now?
Well, I think the first thing that every organization needs to do is a risk assessment. So before they go full scale opening and commencing operation, they need to look at the environment, they need to look at the tasks that is involved in that industry, and then look at the possible threats. So things like, where is it that we cannot maintain or ensure physical distancing for our staff? Where are the places where a lot of people are gathered in crowded conditions on a normal basis? And then with that risk assessment, which ideally should be done, the employer, the manager, in conjunction with the workers, then they can now start to, put some things in place or change some things around. Maybe reorganize their workspace. Things like ensuring those measures we always talk about, the protective measures, running water, soap, use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers, respiratory etiquette, the use of masks, and then ensuring that at least 1 meter apart, and where that cannot be, because you might not be always be able to ensure that, but at least let people have masks, and then let there be ventilation, with natural aeration being better. And then with these measures, they need to train the staff, train the managers. There needs to be training for the staff, because we know that these protective measures are there. But if you look at face masks, for example, a lot of people don't use it appropriately. And sometimes it's out of ignorance. So training is very crucial. And the manager needs to be a leader, as in, and be an exemplary leader. So the managers need to do what we expect the rest of the staff to do, and also ensure that you have things like no handshaking policies. You can stagger people's time at work. Not everybody needs to resume at the same time, ensuring that there's disinfection of common work spaces, or even limiting common gatherings in the work condition. So those are some of the things that can be done as manufacturers start working.
Thank you very much, Dr. Balogun. Thank you for that insight. We will, of course, be talking to some manufacturers right after the break and see whether they have imbibed some of the lessons that you have just imparted. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you very much.